G'day guys, we're in our On The Move Trucks single axle caravan. These guys are a couple that are travelling around Australia permanently, full-time, living in their caravan. They have had some issues with their van after having piecemeal modifications done along the way to add an inverter, upgrade a battery, change a solar regulator, etc, etc, etc. So what's basically happened is the couple had AGM batteries in their van and they decided that they were going to change to lithium. So they bought a brand of battery that advertises themselves as a battery that you can just take an AGM out and put their lithium battery in with no issues. And of course, as we always say, that's not necessarily the case. There's other factors to consider with that. They did have issues, so they then took this van to another installer in Queensland, who then added some more batteries of the same type, a 3000 watt multi-plus, which is a huge inverter charger, and did a little bit of a solar regulator upgrade without actually changing anything on the roof. So the van had, when it came to us, 320 watts of solar, which is nowhere near enough solar to recharge a 400 amp hour bank of battery whilst using a 3000 watt inverter. So what they ended up with after taking it to this particular installer in Queensland was a new Enerdrive DC-DC charger, a Victron 20 amp solar regulator. So the installer already knew that they only had a small solar array, so 20 amp solar regulator, and a 3000 watt multi-plus. The 12300 multi-plus has been fully reticulated through the Caravan from a 240 volt perspective. Some 240 volt electrical work has been done. The really super disappointing thing about all of this is that normally when we see these caravans done and there's been a spark, you have a look at the Caravan, you can pretty much guarantee that the 240 volt work is compliant and to standard and all those sorts of things. In this instance, it wasn't. There were some installation issues with the way that it had been done, some mixed voltages in enclosed cupboards that just don't comply to the electrical installation standards and wiring rules and all those sorts of things. So the client's main concern was that they thought they might have an issue with their inverter. And after discussing this particular installation with them, we very quickly worked out that the likelihood is that the inverter's fine. It's just not being supported well enough by the remaining part of the electrical installation. So just to cover off everything else that's been done in this van, they actually had a multi-control for the inverter up here in next to the fridge cavity, and they also had a B&B 712 battery monitor up here, which was giving the client the ability to monitor their battery level and also turn their inverter on and off. So they did have some dramas with their inverter. The inverter would cut out and the client wasn't really sure as to why. We've since pulled the particular batteries out that we removed from this van that the client installed, and we could see that a couple of them had swollen. So the likelihood is that the batteries themselves were having a little bit of a hard time keeping up with the inverter because they weren't getting recharged enough by solar when these guys were off grid. They do have a generator, so they were recharging with their generator, but bearing in mind that this inverter charger has the capacity to discharge a significant amount of energy out of batteries in a very short space of time and then also recharge the amount of energy. So what's probably been happening is that there's been a situation where the batteries have been, you know, being stressed constantly because the batteries that were in there, just even though their specifications say that they can handle that type of load. That's not the case. They're certainly not manufactured in a way that would support this kind of load constantly, as was being asked. As I said before, this installation has had it wired so that they can run their air conditioner, and they were running their air conditioner from the inverter, and they were doing that regularly. So that would mean that they were pulling lots of energy out of their batteries and then asking it to be recharged in a short space of time from a generator as well. So I guess to cover all of that off, it's one of the things that we find in this industry most often is that, unfortunately, if you try and piecemeal something because you might not have enough budget to do the whole build, what we find is exactly this situation where little bits and pieces of work have been done by various installers around the place and nothing ties together well. So the overall picture and your overall energy consumption profile has not been thought about well enough, and then the products that have been chosen along the way aren't supporting one another. So if you think, oh, I'll just go and get an inverter installed on my 100 amp hour lithium battery that comes from the factory because that'll be fine. Well, it won't be, because you'll pull too much energy out of that battery and you'll actually kill it. Plus it'll be annoying because you'll be off grid trying to run a kettle or a toaster or whatever you're trying to run, and the battery will go flat really quickly, and then you don't have enough solar to recharge it. So, you know, there's a reason why we go about doing what we do in the process that we go about it, so that you don't end up in this situation where you've spent money, significant amount of money already on a build that doesn't work. We're not prepared to do a build for you that's a little bit here and a little bit there, and then you end up somewhere in the middle of nowhere and it's just not working for you. So I guess back to this build and what we've done now. So as you probably worked out from the beginning, they did have some really good pieces of equipment installed. They had some stuff that we've taken out and we won't use, which were the batteries. But what we've ultimately done is we've repurposed the EnerDrive DC-DC charger. We've used their Victron 20 amp MPPT smart solar, and we've also repurposed their MultiPlus. And I suppose just to cover that off again, disappointingly, the MultiPlus was installed in a way that it was able just to float around. So the inverter was actually, the casing on the inverter has broken because it's just been moving and rattling around on the floor. This is a composite floor, so the installer has just literally screwed tech screws in through the floor, and they've just ripped out because it's composite. So again, the installation hasn't been overly well thought about. So we've got the MultiPlus in the seat box down here that is in the original location but now been secured, installed, and also what we've done in there as well is, because these inverters actually get super hot whilst they're charging, they discharge a lot of heat. We've actually put some fans into that ventilation to ventilate that box so that you can discharge the hot air out of there so it doesn't overheat and derate.
So it didn't have it?
It didn't have it previously, so. Alright, so as you can see, we've got a vent at the back of the seat box over the door side, and then we've also got a vent in the front side of the seat box area here. We've got two 12-volt fans which are drawing air from the cool side of the inverter and discharging it out the hot end. So we've got a temperature sensor inside that seat box doing monitoring of the temperature, and we're turning that on, turning the fans on via that temp control through the servo, which we'll get to in a minute. The other thing that we repurposed in this particular van was the BMW 712. So really good quality battery monitor. So we've reused that and we've tied that into the new system. So over this side of the seat box, you can see that we've got our original EnerDrive DC-DC charger, our original smart solar, 20 amp smart solar, and our BMW 712 I've installed into the wall there. We've also added a 70 amp smart solar down here to do 1,000 watts of solar on the roof. And we've also added a 12 volt 620 amp hour Lifetek battery, van life battery, which obviously, as we always talk about, is very compliant to the standards. It has a 300 plus amp BMS built into it, so it can handle that multi-plus. We've also added in all the various requirements from isolation, so battery isolation, obviously battery monitoring, solar isolation, which this van just didn't have. So from a compliance perspective, there were a lot of things missing. So we've installed this whole arrangement in this under-seat box here, which means now that these guys have a view of everything that they need in this under-seat box. The other things that we've done with this is we've added the Victron Servo and Touch. So the Servo lives down here underneath the seat, and we've actually put the Touch up here in the overhead cupboard in the doorway. So you can see here now we've got our touchscreen monitoring 7-inch touch up there. That was where the original BM Pro system was installed. So that I think it's called the drifter screen was in that overhead cupboard area. So we've reused that space. So that's where their original controls were. So it's the same spot, just different screen. Up here in this overhead cupboard, there was also one of the original BM35. It was an old AGM only BM Pro control, which was doing their 240 volt charging, their solar regulation originally. They've obviously, as I've talked about, now got a multi-plus, and they had a modification done with the solar, so that was all taken away from it. But what we've also done up here is, yes, we've installed a new 12-way fuse block up here to do all their 12 volt distribution, which was going to the BM Pro, but we've also put segregation in here in behind this to separate the 240 and the 12 volt, which that wasn't done. There was just mixed voltages all the way through there and non-compliances and all sorts of stuff. So we've actually separated that out to make that safe. This is an off-road caravan, so as I said before, the inverter had just moved around and pulled all the screws out. So as you can probably imagine, up here in the overhead cupboard, that cabling unsecured just hanging out behind there could also potentially rub, and you end up with 240 and your 12 volt and blah blah blah. That's why there's rules that we need to follow, because of these are moving all the time down the road, off road, wherever you go. So it's really super important that they do have compliance and installation practices done that are going to stop you from getting electrocuted. The other things we've done in this van as well, because we have taken the drifter screen away, is we've added tank monitoring to the tanks. So we now do that through the Servo as well. You can see here we've got our tank monitoring. So they've got 2 water tanks and a grey tank. So we've added sensors to those tanks, and they can do all their monitoring. The other nice thing that we do with these Victron systems is we add them to the Victron VRM, so that you can monitor your system remotely, as well as I can monitor your system remotely. I'm just trying to get this up now. I will quickly just get this up and show you. So as you can see here, we've got a varying range of VRM products, and this is their particular van. So I'm monitoring their van remotely via Wi-Fi, and if they have a drama or they've got any questions, it's easy enough for me to just go in and have a look at what's happening, and I can explain exactly what's happening. So just to cover off the last bit, this, as I discussed, this van had 320 watts of solar on the roof. It now has 1270 watts of solar on the roof. So a significant improvement, 4 times improvement on how much solar they actually had on the roof. Whilst this van has been parked up and testing, if you just saw on the screen here, it was at 61% battery. That's because we're actually running the air conditioner, which is an IBIS 3, very, very heavy consumer of energy, 100% of the time down here whilst we're testing. So 24/7 running that. set at 24 degrees. No problems at all. As you can see, 24 degrees. And we've been running that for probably a week. So plenty of energy on the roof, plenty of energy in the battery, run that air conditioner 24/7. No problems at all. So probably covers all of that. It's a fairly lengthy explanation as to what's been going on with this particular install. We are doing a handover in about an hour with these clients, so we're looking forward to that. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one.